Hi everybody, it's Mr. Gray here. Thank you again for another great week of school. It was very busy. The kids had a lot going on as usual, but we also got a lot done and learned a lot, so that was great. On Monday and Tuesday next week, there is no school. I won't see the students again until Wednesday the 22nd. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. It's a federal holiday, and so we have no school that day. Tuesday is just a day off for the students. We'll talk about Martin Luther King Jr. on Wednesday when we come back. The other thing that's happening on Monday is the presidential inauguration. So regardless of your own personal political views having to do with the new president, hopefully you can just check in and watch, whether you're excited or a little bit disappointed or feeling neutral, however you're feeling about it. Just hopefully you can check in with your kids. It's a big, important moment in how our government runs as one president leaves and another one comes in. We'll discuss it a little bit next week, but hopefully you can check in on that on Monday. Our next Fancy Friday, where the kids dress up, will be the very last day of January on Friday, January 31st. Global School Play Day is coming up. You'll hear more about that from me later, but on Wednesday, February 5th, we just play all day. That's literally what we do. We play inside, we play outside, we go back and forth, and we'll do different things. It's an initiative run by a student or a teacher from Irvine Unified School District, and has really been kind of a national and international movement to take one day and just play all day. The kids will love it. They have a great day. Coming up, there's no school on Monday, February 17th. And then a little farther down the road, the Jogathon is coming up on Friday, March 7th. I'm sure PTA will send you information about that, but that's a day you can come to school and watch everybody run. For reading next week, we're studying historical fiction. I'm reading Heroes out loud, which is a World War II story from Pearl Harbor. And then we're also reading Esperanza Rising, which is set in Mexico and the Southern California during the Great Depression in 1930. So next week, the kids will read chapters 7 through 12. They'll get close to the end next week. And we're starting to keep track of the themes that the author is developing and how she's developing those themes. Nothing going on in writing next week. We'll pick that up with a new unit. If you did not get a chance yet to see your students' ABC books, they made little tiny books. We looked at a kind of children's book, and then they made a little tiny book that kind of copied the format of that. So it was a really fun little project. We had a celebration on Friday with Mrs. West Simon. In math, we're going to take our final geometry test. It really focuses on the coordinate plane in quadrant 1, as well as classifying different shapes and what features those shapes have. What is different about a trapezoid than a parallelogram, or what things are in common between a parallelogram and a square, things like that. For social studies, we're moving forward in our unit about the road to revolution. We're going to go for a few weeks. We're going to be talking about all the acts and important moments that happen that really lead the colonists to revolt. And so next week, we're going to talk about the Royal Proclamation of 1763, the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, the Quartering Act, and the Declaratory Act. The kids are going to learn about those. They're going to keep track on a digital timeline. So they're making this kind of cool digital timeline that they can navigate just by clicking buttons. They'll have Science Lab with Mr. Marco. We might start some Greek and Latin roots next week. Of course, we'll see our buddies. The kids are working on their Great State project. So hopefully they have scheduled or will schedule with you a time they're going to call the tourism hotline for their state. A parent has to be there. So if you're having any trouble with that, please let me know. But that's a great thing to do. In March, the kids do physical fitness testing. All the 5th graders in California do that. So I think starting next week or the week after, on Friday, when all the kids go to library, we'll just have half the kids go to library and the other half will start working on our physical fitness testing. So that's coming up in kind of late March, but we're going to be practicing stuff then, including the mile run. So that's only 3 days, next week, and all those things are going on. So it's busy, busy, busy as usual. But talk to your kids about Heroes, talk to your kids about Esperanza Rising, about their ABC book, and about what they're learning in social studies. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.